So, what kind of questions are you possibly going to be asking me today?
Well, let's find out, shall we?
We shall.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Jay Walker, and this is Blind Dates. I am here with my beautiful guest, Miss Catherine. I'm sorry, say your last name?
Kawalerowski.
Yes. I didn't want to mess it up.
It's
Uh,
a tough last name.
it
It really is.
is. I had to look at the spelling and stuff. I was like, oh, girl, okay. So let's start off with a little introduction. Tell me about yourself. How are you doing today? How has your week been? What's going on?
Well, my name is Catherine, and I am a life, career, and travel coach for the visually challenged, impaired, and blind. I am doing amazing. I am finishing my accreditation in coaching as of next week. I
Oh,
have been coaching for over a year. And what have I been doing this week? Just learning. I'm constantly learning and evaluating and just doing new things in my life. And
I love
I
that.
personally believe that, we may not have our eyesight, but man, do we have get up and go. And so I try to get people to get up and go.
Yes, I love the energy. So you're completely blind, are you?
I am severely visually impaired, so I have less than 5% in one eye only. I am totally blind in the other.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. And what is your eye disease?
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Your eye disease.
Eye disease. I have progressive myopia. I was
Oh,
born
okay.
with progressive myopia. And the doctor says, sorry, I have to turn my computer down. My eye doctor said that when I was younger, they used to put me in closets. They try to save my eyesight. Eye doctors still to this day think I'm just an experiment, that they just want to do things with. And
Mm,
it's just stop.
I certainly feel that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just stop. You can't fix blindness, right? You
Yeah.
can't. So anyway.
So what was it like growing up with vision loss? What kind of technology do you have at your disposal? Like what was your everyday life like?
When me being at my age, I am in my late 50s, and growing up without the technology was extremely tough. And now that I'm older, I've had to go back to school and relearn everything because teachers back then didn't know how to deal with somebody with a visual impairment. I got bullied a lot,
Mm.
and it makes you tough. It makes you tough. It
Hmm.
really does.
Yeah,
You know,
unfortunately, you hear that a lot that I went to the Kansas State School for the Blind and I heard that a lot that, people were getting picked on in their public schools.
yeah, it just wasn't fun. That's why I do what I do today, and I have a huge passion for it. I finally got into a job where I was at for over 2 decades, and the boss never advanced me. And you will
Oh.
hear my passion throughout this podcast that a boss would never advance me because they never believed a person that is blind can go anywhere. That is not true.
Yeah.
It is not. So they let me go after 2 years with no severance and nothing like that. And I was down for a little bit, and I thought it was over. So, I went through grievance, which people do when they're losing their eyesight. And I went to college. And I went to college for to be a geologist. If I start to ramble, Jay, just tell me, right?
You do you,
Jay.
girl.
But I went to the University of Buffalo, and I was getting my geology degree. And I was told that I couldn't be a geologist. Again, being
Uh,
told no.
yeah.
Again,
Hmm.
again, again. And I got tired of being told no. So now for over a year, I have been coaching people with visual impairments, teaching them strength, self-awareness to stand up, even though we have a cane, a dog, an assistant. No, we do not take no anymore. Okay.
Yes. I love it.
I will
So,
stop rambling.
so what was the learning curve like when you went back to college? You said that back when, first the teachers didn't really know how to handle a visually impaired
Right.
student. So how was that different the second time around?
I was in my 40s and when I went back to college,
Oh, wow.
and the technology was a little bit different, and it took me a lot of pushing to at that time bring my magnifier with me. And what was that, 20 some odd years ago I was in college, and my magnifier is really big and bulky and it weighs like 50 pounds, and I had to go through a lot even then to get my magnifier to go, and they were fighting me tooth and nail. And I brought my laptop with me at the Commission for the Blind of Buffalo at the time, stood behind me 100%. They taught me mobility skills, all kinds of things. But yet again, people think that people with visual impairments have no place in this world.
Yeah, I've definitely faced that myself. I can definitely understand that. Um, so you stated to me that after your early retirement, um, you reflected on the lack of opportunities for the visually impaired. What did that look like? Like you said that, the job that you were in didn't give you any sort of accommodation or anything, didn't move you up, didn't do anything. So, um, what are you doing today to like kind of help those opportunities grow?
I am I'm actually a member of the Federation for the Blind,
Hmm.
and I research all kinds of things, getting to know and updated on all the technologies. There is some amazing technologies up and coming for us visual people. And when I was let go of my job many, many years ago, it was like walking in a dark, vast hole and no support, no nothing. You didn't know where to turn. There was fear. It was just the overwhelming of just emotions that overtake you when you're visually impaired and there's nothing there. Prime example is on TikTok. There is this guy. I am so admired by him, and my son stands behind me and tells me what's on TikTok. And there's this guy who tests people to see how they would react to someone carrying a cane. And a lot of times, people pull away from this guy, or they think he's got the plague or something like that.
Yes. Oh
All
my
he
gosh.
needs is assistance walking down a flight of stairs. And it's just, yeah. See, I told you I have passion for that. I'm just,
I
ugh,
mean, I know just in my general experience of being on a college campus, like you're right. It is like I have the plague. I walk into a room and all eyes are on me. And
all
like my
eyes.
my sisters who walk with me or, sometime wherever we are will tell me like I feel like I'm famous when I'm with you because every time we go anywhere, everybody is always just staring at you. And, it gives me motivation to look good every day. But you're right. I have noticed that people just have a tendency to scoot away or to get real quiet when you're walking by. And it's like, that's not helpful. Please don't.
Right, right. Right. I got so tired of people staring at me that one time I was in college in my 40s. I wore a funny hat. I did. You want something to stare at? I'm going to give you something to stare at. I know that actually pinpoints me even more, but it's tough enough. And I know that there's a lot of reasons why we have defenses. but we need to let go of some of those defenses
Mm-hmm.
because, you know, a lot of people, the reason is fear. People don't know how to act. They don't know how to speak. I teach corporations about disability bias because even in corporations, people who are disabled, it doesn't matter if they're visually impaired,
Mm-hmm.
blind, whatever disability it is, you know, people don't know how to treat that person, how to act, how to talk to them, how to even, you know, people are shocked.
Yeah.
My wife is sighted. People said, well, how did you date a sighted person? It was love at first sight. You figure that out.
I love that.
Yeah, it was love at first sight. We've been happily married for 18 years. So,
Oh.
yeah, I walked past her, she walked past me, and I thought she was somebody else. And I went to grab her arm, and you know, she did not pull away. That was it.
That's so cute.
Yeah, her
I love
blind.
that. Yeah,
So,
and see, I met my boyfriend on Tinder, so.
really, wow. See, a lot of people meet their loved ones on Tinder. That's
Yeah.
cool. That really is cool. You know, so, and I tell people, me being a life coach, people do come to me about relationship advice. Um, don't chase. It'll come to you.
Mm-hmm.
There's somebody out there for all of us. Don't chase. Seriously.
Yeah. So, like, from just my experience with visually impaired and blind people, especially people who are my age, the one of the biggest struggles is, you know, relationships. Who am I going to date? Who am I going to marry? And a lot of times they have like this common misconception about dating. Like they really, really think like it's like the movies because nobody bothers to help explain it to them.
Right.
Like, and um I have this friend who he texts me every so often. He's like, I updated my dating profile. And I'm just like, good for you, man. Do it. And it's just like I really wish there was more, light or more um even more careers like in the neighborhood of teaching blind people and visually impaired people how to be in a proper relationship.
Right. Right. And that's what I do.
So
I'm
what do
in a
you
very, very narrow niche and I teach okay, people when we try to get into jobs, what are the jobs that they normally give blind people? Guess.
uh pizza box folders,
Yeah.
silverware wrappers, um that kind of stuff. And the only reason why I know that is because that's the kind of jobs that they were teaching us how to do at the blind school I went to.
And it's unreal. Do you know that there's cooks that are blind? Do you
Yeah.
know there's doctors that are blind,
Yeah.
lawyers?
That
Oh my God, the list is unreal.
I found an astrologist who's
Yes.
blind. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so that's where they put, you know, when we're born or whatever, they stick us in a box. Do not stick me in a box.
I'm
Do not
my
stick me in a
ADHD
box.
is too bad to be in a box.
Yeah, don't stick me in a box. So so my clients come to me and I teach them how to get out of that box because there is no box. There's a world. Oh my gosh, I could tell you about travels. I'm the adventurous one. I've climbed Mount St. Helens. Are you guys
What?
familiar with that? I've
What?
climbed all kinds of rocks and mountains and hiking and whitewater rafting. And I wanted to jump out of a plane and went to do my physical last month. The doctor said, no way, your eyes cannot handle the pressure of that. So I cannot jump out of a plane now. So
Oh.
when a blind person comes to me, or if I hear a blind person says the words, I can't, I won't, oh, do not use those words. They're called limiting beliefs. Don't use the words I can't, you know, anything negative. Always turn it to a positive. If you go to say one negative word, I can't, or I'm going to fail anyway, or nobody's going to like me this way. No. Then you give yourself three positives and you do this every day you're eventually going to be uplifting and positive and let's go,
Oh,
right?
okay. I love it.
That's what you, and if you are have low confidence or self-esteem, my Alexa, my computer, my iPad, and my phone, all three will tell you, hey, how are you doing today? You're amazing. You did great. And I tell that to sighted people too. Put it on your mirrors, put it on your walls, put it on your fridge. Tell yourself every day how great you are, what a beautiful day it is. Even if there's a tornado or a tsunami, you tell yourself it is an amazing day today.
I
And
absolutely agree.
yeah, and your life will change. A smile will send endorphins through you. And even if you walk by people, you smile and say, hey, good morning, what's up? Changes everybody's world around you.
I read something a long time ago that like, something that stops people from committing crimes or, hurting themselves or hurting other people is like I think it was like 80% of the people didn't do it because somebody smiled at them on the street or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, that makes me feel like a nicer person."
You're a great person. Why would you? Yeah, see, limiting belief. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a true fact. It is just make somebody's day. You know, people who are suicidal and suicidal touch my home. My brother's wife committed suicide sitting next to him when they were sleeping.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so suicide really touches really close to me. And you just got to reach out to your
hmm
fellow friends and people and just smile every day. How are you doing? So that it's all these things that compounded my life to become a certified credited coach. And so I can bring people up because it's going to be okay.
hmm
I have an 800 number that if somebody is really stressing, call me. Let's talk. We can do it. There is
Absolutely.
some people who cannot afford my services, and I totally understand. And, you know, I'm a life coach and I have a unique niche and I'm a unique person, but I'm worth it. I have a 6-month program and I really don't want to discuss the price here. But yeah, I am a lot more than a lot of coaches. I really am.
Mhm.
But I
I
can
rem
transform lives. That's what I do.
Absolutely. When I first went blind, and I mean like first went blind, I they had just walked out of the hospital room after telling me I was going to be blind. And I remember I had my moment of screaming and crying and yelling at my family and all this stuff. And then I let out my one final scream, and then I was like, "Cool, let's rage." And I remember looking at my mom and telling her, I'm going to be blind in 20 minutes. I'm going to be blind in 20 years. So what's the point of me sitting around and feeling sad about it? And
Exactly.
I don't know why I was so wise. I think it was the oxycodone, but other than that, I kind of live by that. And I always tell people, back to the I can't, I won't, like that's you. Like you know what the first letter in that sentence is I. Is you got to figure that out because there is nothing that we as blind people can't do. Like, and there are documentaries and careers and people like that are, the living proof of that.
Yeah, it is. And so you were sighted.
I went completely blind when I was 15. Um,
Wow.
I have an
Um,
autoinflammatory disease that causes me to swell from my mucous membranes when I'm under high amounts of stress.
wow.
And because of that, when I was a sophomore in high school, I didn't know I had the disease. And I was under a lot of stress with school, with friends, with everything. And I ended up swelling and I cut off circulation to my optic nerves and I went blind in 4 hours.
Wow. See, that's tough. That is really, really, really tough. And you went through a grievance period and and That's part of what I do too, is talk about the grievance part of it. And I let you scream. I let you, cry. Cause, and we all grieve differently. I'm still
Hmm.
grieving. I still want my eyesight back.
Yeah.
I do. Don't you have those moments?
Oh,
That
when I, lose something on the ground, stub my toe, when I walk into a room and it's dark, like I just every day.
you just start cussing. Like,
Yes.
please, why did somebody move the wall? Right? Who put
Yes.
that chair there that's been sitting there 20 years?
Exactly. Like, come on,
Yeah.
universe, let's go.
I kind of just make a joke of it now because I'm always running into door frames, even at doctor's offices. I'm like, who put the door frame there? People crack up. So I know we shouldn't
Yeah.
be making a light of going blind, but if you kind of put a comical spin on it, a humorous spin, you can you it lightens the mood, I should say. Even
One thing that I've noticed is from dealing and being around blind people who are like my general age, is a lot of them are very embarrassed of their condition. Like they're embarrassed to, accidentally stumble or fall into a wall or, drop their cane or anything. I knew a guy who was embarrassed to even use his cane. And I think there's like a point after you go blind. Like say that you're in my situation and you go blind as a teenager, there's some point that you finally just stop being embarrassed. And I think when that moment finally hit for me, it was like, oh, thank God. Like, I don't have to like feel bad about accidentally running into something in front of people. And like, I can make jokes about it. And I think that if more, blind people were able to do that, it would be a lot easier on like their mental state to handle what is going on with them.
yeah, exactly. Just talk to a mailbox, if you walk into it and stuff like
Exactly.
that,
I
right?
apologize to inanimate objects probably twice a day.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to run into you. Then people look at you differently because they know you have a little bit of fun for it. As I said, a lot of decided people are fear. They have a lot of fear and they just need to get rid of their fear and stuff. And I think the world would be a lot easier. But it's difficult for some people to
Hmm.
accept the fact that they are going blind. It
Yeah.
really is. And I feel really bad for them. But I went through it. You went through it a little bit. It's just a part of life. It
Hmm.
really is. And
Um,
I want to help as many people as I possibly can. I really do.
let's talk about the grievance process for a little bit. So
We can.
I actually have a question.
You
So surprise, surprise. But I okay, so I always tell people I didn't start grieving for my eyesight until like 2 years ago. Because in, from my perspective, the first 3 years of me going blind was just survival mode, like learning how to do O&M, learning how to do Braille, learning how to do this, learning that, learning how to brush my teeth again and how to socialize and like all that kind of stuff just all over again. And then I got to a point where I didn't need to learn anything else or learn as much at such an advanced rate that I was literally sitting there like, oh, what do I do now? And all I had to do was think about the fact that I couldn't see. So, say you have a client that's in that sort of position, what would you tell them?
I tell them take a breath. Okay. Tell them what part, ask them, what is it about your grieving that has you thinking so deeply? What are you thinking about? Okay. Because it's the same as it was when you grieved in the beginning as it is now. So just tell me. Tell me what's happening. Tell me what you're thinking. And we'll get through it. We will. So what's
Interesting.
happening? Are you still grieving? Because
No, I mean, of course, every day I still go
every
through the
day.
motions, but I would say that over this last, I would even just 6 months, I have become like a completely different person. I have found this weird like energy to actually do things. So I like kind of got out of that little rut of, oh, I'm blind and I'm sad. Now I'm like, oh, I'm blind and I'm not as sad, but I'm still motivated. And um, so I've just actually been able to go to class and do things.
Right. That's called the acceptance part of grievance, is what you're going through now, is acceptance. And, it's, I, and yeah, there's some points that, yeah, I can accept it, but there's some points, no, wait, absolutely
Yeah,
not. I don't want to do
exactly.
this. And it's okay. It's normal. It's normal to set and think about it and cry about it and stuff like that. It really is, because you're missing a part of you that you had for 15 years. And it is okay. You can grieve. You can. But only for 5 minutes, because then I'll tell you, all right, pull your butt up. Let's go. Okay.
Get it
Let's go for
together.
a walk. Okay. Because if you get too far into it, then you're really going to go down a rabbit hole, and you don't want to do that. So if you find yourself sitting there for more than 10 minutes, 15, get up, put your shoes on, go for a walk,
Yeah.
wash dishes, get your mind off of it, watch TV, play a game, do whatever you do. Okay. Go on a rage, but don't sit there in your grieving. Jeez, I can't talk. See what you do to me? You see me going. But yeah, don't, I could tell this to anybody out there who's in the grieving process. You do go through 5 steps. And I always say, I believe that there's more than the 5 steps of grieving.
Absolutely.
There is so many steps to grieving. And I know they pinned it down to these 5, but oh no, please don't do that. Okay. Stick it in another box. But
Yeah. And I
it's
honestly
more.
don't think that the five stages of grief even like necessarily go in that order either. You know what
No,
I
it
mean?
does not. It does not. No, it does not.
Because
No.
like I remember I was, you know, for me personally, it was like I didn't really I denied it like for like a split second. And then after that, I was just angry. I wasn't like even I didn't go through the process of like begging for, to get my sight back. I didn't go through any of that. I went straight to just being mad because I was like, these people did this to me. This could have been stopped, yada yada yada. And so I think it took me, I think a lot, and I'm actually just realizing this right now, but I think a part of the reason why I was able to let go of, or kind of heal a little bit better is because I finally let go of that anger over the last couple of months.
Right. It, yeah, I had to go through therapy to get rid of my anger, because I broke a lot of stuff. I swore a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I was really pissed, and I went through the blame, so yeah, mine was, yeah. That's all I can say, because there is times I'm still grieving, and um, I was a foster parent here, just about, I'm now retired. But once all the school and dealt with all this, I became a foster parent. And when I'm grieving over a child that was given up for adoption, the reason why he was given up for adoption and not left in our care, because we had him for 2 years, is because of our sexual orientation.
Of
Now,
course it was.
I don't care what people think about me, but I do live in the state of North Dakota, and they're just a little closed-minded.
Just
So, when I'm grieving over that, it brings up the grieving of losing my eyesight. So I have
mhm.
to sit in a moment and then get up and go do something else. But I'm just was making a point that even you could grieve over here for a loss, but it'll remind you of another loss.
That is,
So,
yeah, that is an interesting point. I didn't really realize that until, now that I'm thinking about it, but pretty
right.
much every time I've been angry about something else, somehow, some way, it's always circled back to like, well, this wouldn't happen if I could see, you know?
Right. Exactly. Yep. Can't do that. Don't do that. See, I'm
Yeah.
gonna call you Jay, and I'm gonna say, so how are you doing, Jay?
Do it. Call me out on it. Do it.
I will. I'll say, hey, straighten up. So, can I ask you, where do you live?
I
What
live in
part?
Missouri.
Oh, you live in Missouri. Oh, wow.
Hmm.
See? Yeah. Okay, you guys are a little bit different than us up here in North Dakota.
Yeah, I'm not sure about, I don't even know about any of the laws, but I don't know why in my brain I was like, that just doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, no, it does all the time, you guys.
That's
Do
ridiculous.
not, do not, even though there's a lot, don't be, I'm not going to say closed-minded because you're not, okay? That's not what I'm trying to say, but there's still people out there that still discriminate. It doesn't matter
Absolutely.
what color,
Absolutely.
religion,
Hmm.
sexual orientation, it does not matter. There is still people out there, and yeah, that's another nerve.
That's a
And,
whole different, that's my whole major.
oh, right. Yeah, see? And it's a good major to get into, but it's going to open your eyes to, yeah, a whole
Oh
lot
my
of
gosh.
things.
I learn like little things every day. Like I have little aha moments where I'm like, oh, that's why that happens. And I learned today in class, because we were just talking about, my teacher was giving an example and she was talking about how, if you're gonna go, quote unquote, visit the projects, don't go, the first of the month. And I was like, are people getting their social security checks or something? Like, what's up? Like, why not go in the first of the month? And then she explained, like, people are getting put out of their houses on the first of the month. So the streets are lined with furniture and stuff like that. And I just it didn't even cross my mind.
Right.
Cause like in my brain, I was like, okay, maybe like a family or two gets like kicked out of their home like once a month, like in like a certain area. But to put it in the perspective of, oh my gosh, this is literally happening to like a dozen and a dozen and a dozen people, like it makes it that much more real. And that's why I think my major is so important, is because like, the average person just doesn't realize that kind of stuff until they actually are seeing it.
Right. Where are you going to take your major once you graduate?
I am planning on becoming a family and relationship therapist with a certification in sex therapy.
Oh, that is cool. That is
Yeah.
really interesting. Wow.
And I was hoping to kind of center my, focus towards people with disabilities, because I mentioned before how there's no education, there's nothing. There's no
Yeah.
relationship coaches, there's nothing for the visually impaired.
Nothing, nothing, and nothing at all. And it's all me.
Yeah.
It's all me,
The
and
websites all come back to you.
right. And now my website's gonna get flooded. Watch. But
Good.
yeah, it's only just me, and it's tough, and everybody has something different. It's like our fingerprints.
Hmm.
We're not all the same. We all see differently or don't see. My coaching model is actually vision. And my teacher at the time said, that is a cool one. Because I teach everything around vision and inspire people, as we talked about in the beginning. So I am so looking forward to helping as many people as I can. So anyway, you need to call me though. You really do.
I'm gonna. Dude, I was
If
actually thinking about it. I was like, I feel like I really should get her services.
you should just call me, and I can just help you through. I can help you through school and everything else. I am about ready to get certified in something called NPO. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but I am coaching kids from Africa
Oh, okay.
from next week, and they're the youth. So I'm teaching them and coaching them on time management and grieving and self-confidence and awareness and self-esteem. The list
Hmm.
goes on. There's
Yeah,
10 things. And so, yeah, actually, my first client is tomorrow. And she's from Africa, as I
that's so
said.
exciting.
So it is now added to my long list of things that I do. And so anyway, I do not mean to just take over because I
I love it. It's okay. That's the
do.
point. So,
So
how is a life coach different from a therapist?
I knew you were going to ask me that. Because everybody asks her, what's the difference? Why do you charge way more than a therapist? Well, a therapist is all mental. They work on your brain, the mental part of your brain. A therapist, we work on um how would I put this? We give you mental toughness.
Okay.
We assure that you actually go through your transition, and the therapist will sit in an office, shake her head, hey, have a good day. I'll see you next week.
Hmm.
And a coach, we walk you through it. We ask you questions. We talk to you. We peel you like an onion. We pull it out of you. What started this low self-esteem, this low confidence? You don't know what your strengths are, everything like that. And once we peel you all back, then we put you all back together and you're a brand new person. You'll be
Oh.
just like me, happy go lucky.
Oh, I love it. I want to be just like you.
You are just like me.
Oh,
Look at
yes,
you. You are just
achieved.
aha. No. But you just seem really bubbly and happy. I think this podcast is gonna go far. It really is. There's a few podcasts for the blind out there, and yeah, yours is fun.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Because
I
I
know
feel
it.
like every time I tried to listen to like a podcast for the blind, it was always talking about like, oh, this is my favorite piece of technology. And I was just like, okay, but like, what about life coaches? What about chefs? What about all these things? Like, and so I mean, I've always wanted to do a podcast. And again, I was limited because I was like, I can't do it because I can't see. I don't know how to do any of these things.
Right.
And finally, like a couple weeks ago, my mom works with this guy and she was like, hey, he does things. And I was like, let's party.
Oh my gosh. You've got to get your name out there, and I'm gonna give you a place to go, and it's called LinkedIn.
Oh yeah, I forgot about LinkedIn.
You need to get on LinkedIn, girl. Telling you. LinkedIn is for businesses. That's where people go to hire podcast people. They go to hire on jobs, of course. You can sell yourself on LinkedIn. You just put it out there. And there's billions of people on LinkedIn, but it is not a social thing. It is not a scroll. Hey, how's your dog? Where's your cat?
Thank God.
It's not Facebook. It's not Pinterest. It's not Instagram or TikTok. Okay. There's no fluffiness about it. It is straight to the point. Okay. So you find a way to get on LinkedIn. Go look it up. It's easy to find. It's easy to navigate. My machine talks to me and yells at me all the time. So sometimes I tell my computer to shut up. So stop talking to me. I'm busy. So um, anyway, I tried LinkedIn and tell them what you're looking for. Seriously. I'm even going to put your name out there and say, hey, she's looking for blind people. Go talk to her.
Absolutely. Do it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So, what else do you want to know about me? You know a lot now. Seriously. Wow,
Uh,
I've told you my whole life, haven't I?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Um, so in your initial biography, you stated that you want your clients to start with slow, manageable milestones that lead to significant milestones. And you also
Yes.
stated that you've witnessed these milestones. So what does that mean? What does that look like?
Okay,
Where do they start?
I've had some people who are severe introverts. Okay. And they can't get outside their door without sweating profusely, shaking. So there's no way I can do it. I
Yeah.
just lost my eyesight. I cannot see out my front door. And so what I do is I tell them slowly, stand up, okay, walk towards your door, open your door. I want you to walk 5 steps outside your door. Be careful with steps if you have them. Don't fall down the stairs. I want you to walk 5 steps out your door, and I want you to take 5 deep breaths. I want you to turn around and go back in your house and sit down. In a few minutes after you have calmed down that you've done it, I want you to get up and do it again, but take 10 more steps out your door. If it's towards the street, don't work. That won't work. So I add a bit of sense of humor to all my coaching. It lightens the mood a little bit. And I try to stay very serious because it is a serious matter when people are very stressed out. And I'm also a travel coach, so I teach people to travel. So what I
Oh.
do on top of that is, once they're able to get up and walk out that front door and get on a bus or call an Uber or a taxi, I tell them to go to a hotel in their area, in their town, right?
Hmm.
Small steps. Stay there overnight, or if you're comfortable, stay the weekend and explore the area around you. Okay. This is all maybe a month down the road. Um, and then I teach them how to take a plane and get on a plane and travel the world, travel the US, go caving, go horseback riding, whitewater rafting, climb mountains. There's aids that will take you. There's trips for the blind that you can take. Oh my God. The world is out there waiting for you, and I can teach you how to get out there.
Oh, take my money.
You're funny. But yes, I feel so bad because my son, my 15-year-old son, is an extreme introvert, and it is hard for him. And he's sighted,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard. And it's not only that who are extreme introverts, it's people without confidence.
Mm-hmm.
That they're scared to death, especially if they just lost their sight. So when you lost your sight at 15, were you scared to get up and walk out your front door?
I was terrified to leave my room.
Yeah,
Like my mom slept on the floor of my room so that she could help me get to the bathroom if I needed to go.
right. It's
And
tough.
it's crazy. And I even remember my first day of college. I was in the dorm, and of course I had had mobility training and all this stuff. So technically I knew where places were, but I was so terrified to like go out. And I remember this very distinct moment that kind of changed everything for me. And it was the moment that I took my first step out my dorm room by myself and was like, I'm gonna just walk down this hallway and see what happens.
Right,
And I went and I explored and I got lost. And it was like 15 feet away from my room. And I didn't panic. I didn't do anything. And it like made me kind of engage my mobility skills and it made me feel independent. And I think like once people have that initial moment of, oh my gosh, I can actually do it, like
right.
the world is crazy.
Yeah. And if you get lost somewhere, it's always fun to find your way back.
It
It's an
is. It
adventure.
is an adventure.
It's an
It's all about
adventure.
perspective.
Yes, it's an adventure. I love it. I just you have a cane, and a cane, is mine is 5 feet, the same height as me, 5'2", and it extends 5 feet in front of me. And if there's danger in front of me, it's gonna tell me.
Hmm.
Really is.
Yeah.
And just so it's an adventure to get lost. But did you have somebody to talk to when that happened, when you were so scared to get off that bed or off the floor and say, you know, it was tough? Who could you talk to?
I honestly know. I talked to my mom, and I talked to my sisters, but they didn't get it. They didn't understand. Like they could give
Yeah,
me the sympathy, but they couldn't give me the empathy.
right,
And it wasn't really until um it wasn't funny enough. I met a man or a guy in the school that I went to, and they were asking all the kids, like, this new girl is going to come to school with us. Like, what do you want to say to her? Like, what would you say to her after just losing your sight? And everybody said, like, oh, she is, the world's your oyster, all that kind of stuff. And the one guy said, um, this is going to be hell, and she needs to know that. And I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. And after I started talking to him and I started talking to blind people that actually understood my situation. And, you know, that I think is how I got out of it. It wasn't like learning all these fancy tricks on how to survive. It was being able to connect with people who are in the similar situation as me and understanding their perspective.
Right. The one thing that I teach family members to do, and you can tell everybody around you in your community to teach family members who don't understand for 4 hours, okay? Put a blindfold on. They cannot take that blindfold off for 4 hours and teach and have them try to cook. Have them try to find the bathroom, their bedroom, their
Mm-hmm.
clothes. Give them 4 hours. And I trust me, they will change their point of view. Give them the cane, let them use the cane and show them what it's like to either tap their way. Mine slides back and forth. Some
Mm-hmm.
people tap. And that's a way to flip the switch in some families' minds is have them wear that blindfold. And I teach families right along to understand this is what your family member is going through. So yeah, I do it all. I do it all.
So,
Seriously.
let's talk about that for a second. So you dealing with families and stuff of people who are visually impaired, what is usually the biggest, um, not necessarily obstacle, but what is the biggest kind of like barrier to their learning? Like what makes the connection so hard?
Is because after a certain amount of time, and they get frustrated, they get upset, they go, I want to take this off, and no, they cannot take it off. The blindfold has to stay on because at that point, something will switch after a certain amount of time that, oh my gosh. And once they take that blindfold off, then they start treating their family member a whole lot different about
Mm-hmm.
their eyesight. They're more apt to being more understanding and helping them and everybody doing things together instead of doing everything separate. No, do not. You guys cook together, you wash clothes together, everything it's done as a family. And I know it's difficult. My family, I'm oldest of 9, and I don't
Oh
talk to
wow.
any of my siblings. None of my siblings are just, you know what they always said? It's kind of funny. Yeah, oh, she can see. Don't let her fool you. She can see anything.
That's what my
Hey,
sisters say too.
yes. Don't have she's faking it, right? So family members are tough, but the only way that someone is going to change is if they are willing to do the changing. Seriously, I do not coach anybody who's just, and that's why I charge what I do. And if somebody is going to invest in their life, they're going to show up. We're going to do homework. I'm going to hold you accountable. I don't listen to people come to me and say, oh, I didn't do my homework. And why not? Because you cannot change if you're not willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if family members are not willing to change and understand with you, then it's just going to make your road a lot harder. But there's a lot of times that, 90% of the time, family members are willing to do the game and play along. And I give them a list of things to do so they can understand what it's like to lose your sight, to go from being totally sighted to totally blind.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing there was this video I watched. It wasn't a TED talk, but it was something along those lines. And it was this guy who gave this woman like a pair of goggles. And like the first pair of goggles was like clear and she could see through them. And the second pair of goggles was a little cloudy. And then so on and so forth until she was completely blind. And she like they took measures of like her heart rate and like all that stuff, and like she was just getting anxiety and she was sweating and she was like all these things. And it was just like it just kind of goes to show like it you really don't understand it until you're there. And
Right.
I have had people come up to me and say, oh, I was blind for 3 days, I understand what you're going through. And it's like
No.
no.
Blind for three
Yeah,
days.
I had a guy come up to me and say, when I was about your age, I had a firework blow up in my face and it made me go blind for three
Oh,
days.
and temporary
So
blindness.
yeah,
Yeah.
he was like, so I understand what you're going through. And I was like, I literally it took so much in me. I was like,
And you
sir,
just say, how's that working out for you?
yeah, you're
If
literally
somebody
jogging
said
on the
that to you,
street
how's that
alone
working
right
out for
now.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had so much fun with you. Oh my gosh. You are too much fun. I was all nervous. Why was I nervous? Jeez, you're a lot of fun.
I love your energy. You're so fun.
I just feel a lot better. I really do. I know my purpose in life. I know where I want to go. And as I said, I've made this a career now of changing people and making sure that they have very productive lives and traveling the world. And yeah, and just, yeah. So anyway, what else can I help you with?
So you said that you initially started your journey as a life coach through Facebook. What does that
Yes.
mean?
Okay. I was on Facebook answering all these questions in all these groups, just constantly answering. And someone came to me and said, have you ever thought about being a coach? And I said, what, of a baseball team? I can't even see my hand in front of my face. What are you talking about, a coach? Really? A coach for what? Right? I'm sorry. What's a coach? And so she was explaining this to me about being a coach, and she said you can actually get paid for it because being on Social Security sucks.
It does.
It does. My poor wife, Amy, she works herself to death. Well, not to death. She works in a blue collar field that I
Hmm.
did for many years, and yeah, it's tough. So she said, "This is the way that you can earn a living and actually, enjoy life a little bit more." So, and she explained to me about being a coach. So I paid into a program to train me and to teach me how to be an accredited certified life coach. And yeah, so this is me now, and I love it
I love that. I love that you love it. That makes me so happy.
because there is so many out there that need me. They really do.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
I need you.
so we would just have so much fun together. I don't think we could get anything done. I'd have to calm it down, say, hey, okay, right? So anyway, so
So what kind of homework assignments do you kind of give your clients?
um homework assignments, like the ones we discussed. I want you
Okay.
this week, I want you to start walking outside, and every day I add more steps to it.
Okay.
Like our first initial conversation will be getting to know each other like you and me just did today. This is what we would do for the first hour. Now, this is a 6 months accelerated program. This is not 3 months. No, this is a long time that you have me. And you have me for phone support and email support. And a lot of people do not offer that. I do. Why am I selling myself here? Like, I just went through a whole salesman pitch. I'm just like, but but
Market, a marketing queen.
that's it. So we do the confidence homework where I tell you to put it on your Alexa, on your phones. Gosh, I give you questions to answer. Alexa, stop. Jeez, sorry. But I give you 5 to 6 questions that I want you to really seriously think about and to do. And I give you a grievance questionnaire. There's all kinds of things I give you. I keep you busy. And I may even call you up on a spare of the moment and say, hey, what you doing?
I
Did you
love
get
that.
your homework done? So yeah, I hold you accountable. I don't play. You're paying me, you're paying a lot for me, and yeah. I make sure that you get your transition. I do.
Mhm.
So
So say somebody is not necessarily like super bummed about the fact that they can't say that they're like just pretty nonchalant about it, whatever. And they're just kind of going through the motions of life, but they just don't really feel fulfilled. What kind of advice would you give to them as a matter of like what kind of services would you offer to that kind of person over, self-esteem and that kind of stuff?
I'd ask them, have you grieved yet? That's exactly the first question I
Oh,
would ask them.
okay.
Have you grieved? Because a lot of people aren't just nonchalant, are they?
I
Think about it.
mean, yeah, that's a good point.
Seriously. And that's why, and the reason why I asked that, have you grieved yet? Because people who are nonchalant are still numb to the fact that they've lost their eyesight.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was me for the first 3 years.
Yeah, numb, just going through the motions. Just and so what I do then is we set and I just talk to you very slowly. Well, not slowly, but I'm not as hyper and gung-ho like I have the conversation with you. And I just start saying, so tell me what's on your mind, what's happening. Tell me what you're thinking about. Why is it that you feel this way? What is it that at this moment in time today that I can help you with right now to help you get over that nonchalant moment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But normally people aren't just nonchalant about eyesight. It's one or the other. There's no gray. There is no gray. It is black and white. Well, we're blind people.
Well, it's mostly
It's
black.
totally black. Totally black.
Sometimes there's shades of gray, but
Yeah, sometimes there's shades of gray. I have shades of gray in one eye. So I have the best of both worlds. I'm blind totally in one eye and gray in the
oh,
other.
absolutely.
So yeah, it's just a process and we take it one moment at a time.
What would you
There-
say the most common question you receive is?
Are you really blind?
Really?
Yeah, people don't think I'm blind because I talk to you just like this. I have been attacked, I don't know how many times. Are you really blind? Really? Why? Because I've accomplished a lot in my life.
Because I'm, self-sustaining and independent.
Right. Yeah, because I can cook, I can do laundry. I have a family I take care of,
Mhm.
and I just, yeah, that is my common question. People say, are you really blind? Yep. Right now, I wear really thick glasses that are setting on my face. I have really short brown hair, and I think I'm wearing a white shirt with gray flowers. My wife picks out my clothes for me. Yes. I can do my own. I could do my own, but I'm one of those people that never learned Braille.
And
I'm
yet you're so successful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I never learned Braille.
I have a lot of strong opinions on Braille because I the way that it was taught to me and the way that it was shoved down my throat and the way that it was like, if you don't learn this, you will not survive. Like,
Oh, please.
it was like, girl, I use it to get into the elevator and that is it.
I don't even use it to get in the elevator. I just feel the buttons.
Yeah. See?
That's it. I just feel the up and down and I count buttons and stuff like maybe it'll take me a little bit longer. Or if I feel someone next to me, like here's the one thing that people don't realize. Your skin is your number one organ,
Mm-hmm.
right? We may have lost our sight, but we have our other four senses. In our skin, we can tell if someone's next to us. Okay. We can hear them. People people find it fascinating that I know somebody's standing next to me and they go, well,
Mm-hmm.
how did you see me standing next to you? I said, I didn't see you. I felt you. I can
Yeah.
dang near
You can
hear
feel
their
like the
heartbeat.
energy. Yeah.
Right. And so, it's just I just feel things. That's it. Why do I need Braille? Please. I'm too old to learn. Okay, you know the saying, they can't teach old dog new tricks. I'm one of them. Okay.
Dude, mood. Dude,
I cannot.
mood.
It's the dots. Braille is amazing. If you learned it as you were younger and you tried to learn as you're older and you can catch on. No, I can't catch on. I've been trying to scan those dots. They all feel the same to me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
like I can read it like very, very, very slowly, like a letter by letter by letter. And yeah, I
Um,
I don't
yeah.
know. I learned enough to be able to pass the test so that they could, not make me go to that school anymore, and that was it.
Do you know what your college can do for you? Do they read the questions to you for your exams, your
Yeah.
finals?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did that to me. Yeah, I was just wondering. And my classmates, quite a few of them read the books for me and put them on tape and gave them to me.
Oh,
Yeah, quite a few people did that for me.
that's really nice.
Yeah, because back the technology wasn't it as it is now.
Yeah.
Technology now is incredible, and it's just, nothing against the US, so people don't knock me here, but there's a technology coming up in I think it's Germany,
Germany.
and they slide their cane against it or something. It's
Hmm.
tra you know how I trail, but there's this thing that they slide their cane along it and it gets them everywhere they need to go. I think it's the neatest technology that's coming up.
Yeah. Berlin and Rome are two of the most accessible cities on the planet.
It's incredible. And why don't we do that?
I'm right. Like, there's
And
no reason why crosswalks aren't tactile. There's no reason
there's no reason.
why
Oh my
cross
God.
lights aren't like they don't talk. Like, there's no
Okay.
reason why
No,
shopping things don't talk to you. Like, come on.
really? Right. Oh, and the crosswalks, I'm scared to death across the street because when the whistle goes off and it tells you to go,
Yes, it's so
people are on
stressful.
their phones. I have almost gotten hit a few times. No, I do ask a stranger. I say, I don't care any one of you around me. I need to get across this street. And this, yeah, no. And so, yeah, usually somebody will help me across the street. But I
Yeah.
have to make it opinion. I need help.
I definitely
Seriously.
got hit by a car like a couple weeks ago.
See? Because
Yeah.
people won't get off their phones. Slow
People
down.
don't pay attention.
Right. And one thing being blind, don't panic. Panic
No.
will get you killed.
Yeah, it really and
Yeah,
it's honestly an art form to learn not to panic when you're in
right.
situations like that. Like say
Yeah,
you drop something in the middle of the street, like it takes so much mental energy to not freak out. But the moment
yeah,
that you like learn how to do that, you like first of all you look super cool because like you're just like, "Oh, whatever. I'll just pick it up." And like, but and second off, it's like you feel more confident within yourself. Like you don't feel as terrified all the time.
I got a trick for you. When you drop something and you're a cane carrier, right?
Hmm.
Usually when you drop something, it's down next to your feet.
Hmm.
Use your cane to circle around you. Do
Hmm.
not move from where you're standing, but use your cane and start just sliding it around your body. And 10 to 1, you'll run into your phone, your keys, your purse, whatever you dropped. And you could just nonchalantly bend down like you knew where it was, freak people out and pick it up.
Hmm.
Use your cane to find it first before you start getting on the ground, feeling around. Because you
In the
might
middle
run
of the
into stuff
road.
you don't want to touch on the ground.
Oh
No.
yeah, it's grody. Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh, we just talked almost an hour, haven't we?
Yeah, we have.
Oh my, jeez.
So I have one final question for you, and that is, do you have any social media handles or you said you had a website?
Oh yeah, I got a website. I'm on 9 different social medias. The best way for people to find me is on Linktree, and it's Linktree at BVP Coach 23. That's how they find me.
All right.
It's so
Amazing.
much easier because then you could find me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Oh, and you will see all my videos. Oh my gosh, you guys will have fun with my videos, especially on TikTok. Come hunt me down on TikTok.
I'm gonna find you on TikTok. You
Oh,
sound like a
yeah,
riot.
yeah. Yeah, because I live way out in the country and I'm always outside without my cane. Well, there's a few times I've had to take it, but I walk outside and I say, I'm gonna show you confidence. Watch me walk outside, and there's been a couple times I almost smacked right into a tree. So, yeah, anyway, so I've had an incredible time with you.
It
Oh
has
my,
been so much fun.
oh,
You're,
anyway.
you're like my favorite person in the world. Oh my gosh.
But don't be afraid to text me or email me. And if you're having a bad day, text me. I'll call you. I'll email you and say, tell me what's up, what's happening. And I'll take care of it.
I will. I'm gonna take you up on that.
Yeah, I'm here. I have no life except my computer and Alexa. She's my best friend, right?
Too.
Oh my gosh. But if you ever want to travel the world, I can totally teach how to do it.
Please.
Yeah,
I
it's
want
easy.
to.
It really is. But I recommend nowadays with all this stuff going around, I do not recommend blind people traveling alone. I do
Mm-hmm.
not.
Mm-hmm.
Do not. And they do it all the time, every day. They travel alone by themselves and stuff like that. But me being also a travel coach, no, I do not recommend because, yeah, it is not safe to travel being visually impaired. If you stay within the United States, oh, yeah, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway.
All right. Well, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me on Blind Dates. Everybody, my name is Jay Walker. You can feel free to reach out to me at my email, blinddatesjw@gmail.com. You can now find us on Facebook at Blind Dates with Jay Walker, and that is with a W and a slash, not the actual word because I'm lazy. And that concludes our episode with Miss Catherine. You've been so great. I love you so much. I want to be your best friend.
Come on. Thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it. It has been absolutely amazing. This is one of the best podcasts I ever had. I love it.
I love
And
it.
thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
You too. Bye, hun.
Bye.